Hello guys, welcome back to another collection video, and today I wanted to take a look at the oldest console that I have. It is the Atari 2600. It's been sitting in a box in my basement for a good long while. I hadn't played it in a while, and I decided if I could get it out and see all the stuff I had for it and see if it was still, clean it up and plug it in, make sure everything was still working okay. And I also, I also got my Nintendo games out, and my NES is in that box. So I haven't played it in a long time, and I wanted just to give you a little video of my collection of the Atari 2600. So, as you can see, this is the Atari 2600. This is the first video game console that really ever came out, unless you count Pong. But this thing, came out in about 1977. I don't think this version that I have with me is from that. This is I'm not sure what exact year, but it came out it's either from 77 to 78 or 9, or maybe even 80. But, these are my games for it. I don't have a whole bunch of games, but I have a decent amount. The first game is Pac-Man. The worst version of Pac-Man that ever came out. It's on the Atari 2600. It's pretty bad. Classic Space Invaders. Everybody knows this game. Classic game. They obviously, these games are over 40 years old. They're older than my dad. But I mean, it's amazing. You can still put these right in. They still play. It's, even though it's primitive, it's it's good system. Next one is, a lot of these are just generic. They had a lot of generic games made for this because they didn't really have they had a lot of cross things that you could do. You could, anybody could really make a generic system just like this, and you could play the same games on it. So that's kind of what did it in the end. But anyway, this is just 27 tail games: shooting gallery, planes, submarines, ships. Nothing real special. These graphics are really primitive, but Dragster, Activision, they made a lot of games for the Atari. Yeah. Another tail games, 14, auto racing. If you can see that, okay. Combat. Let's see here. It's a pretty decent game. A lot of these have, if you see it, these are basically, it has different game modes within the game, or different variants, I should say. And a lot of these were, multiplayer games where you could play with your friend. Berserk, classic game, arcade game, booted over to it. Probably my favorite that I have of all of them. Enduro, another really good racing game, classic. Pole Position. I don't think this game works. I never think I got this game to work, but it's a racing game. Something broke with it, but, whatever. Now we're moving on to the controllers, and I have a few controllers. I have this is the classic, you see this a lot in pop culture references. This is the classic joystick, and you can see how far we've come. This only has one button on it, and just a joystick. But it still works. It's classic, and over 40 years old. Let's see, we got the Pong controllers, or paddle controllers, I should say, for like tennis games and stuff like that, sports games, whatever. Then we got the Point Master controller, which is, they had a lot of different controllers made for this console. So that's just a really, solid, kind of flimsy little controller. Then we got probably my favorite controller for it. This controller, I don't know what you would call it, but it's, as you can see, it's really firm, really good. You just plug it in and it plays. And it's a good controller. And that's basically all I got for the Atari. I don't have a whole bunch of stuff for this, but it is the oldest game system I have. And I think it's a piece of history that needs to be preserved. And if you guys enjoyed this video or like the Atari, please let me know. And I'll try to do some more videos, about other stuff. I've just been doing collection videos because I thought, why not? And thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and see you later.